probably just doesn't annoy Michael Jordan. That probably annoyed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It probably annoyed Magic Johnson.
The GOAT debate just hit a new level of personal. For years, fans have watched that cold, unspoken rivalry between Michael Jordan and LeBron James bubble under the surface, silent stares, sly digs, and loaded interviews. But now, the truth is finally spilling out.
I was ecstatic. Like, obviously, I showed that the first wave of emotion was when everyone saw me crying. Like, that was all for 52 years of everything in sports going on in Cleveland. And then after I stopped, I was like, that one right there made you the greatest player of all time.
And it exposes why not just MJ, but nearly every all-time legend, from Magic Johnson to Scottie Pippen, has a bone to pick with King James. And let's be honest, it's not just the retired icons shaking their heads. Even current stars can't stand how LeBron cherry-picks his squads, builds super teams, then turns around complaining about his teammates when things go south. Fans lose it when he acts untouchable. And the media, they've been caught in the crossfire too, especially when they dare to challenge him. From the decision to that leaked dunk tape.
It's about chasing the validation. LeBron said, in 2016, winning the NBA championship, coming back from 3-1, that's the thing I felt like made me the greatest of all time. That probably just doesn't annoy Michael Jordan. That probably annoyed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It probably annoyed Magic Johnson.
All the way to his latest headline-blowing feud, LeBron's ego has been busy making enemies. The real question is, does he care, or does he secretly enjoy being the villain? Let's keep it real. LeBron James is one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball, no denying it. The stats don't lie. The trophies don't lie. His longevity? Insane. But here's where things get spicy. LeBron doesn't just want to be part of the GOAT conversation. He wants to end it by crowning himself the undisputed king. He straight up said it himself.
His career's not over. I'd just like to, why he's saying that, I don't know. Maybe he thinks that sells. Maybe he's taking the Donald Trump approach and trying to sell himself. I don't know.
And that's exactly what drives old school legends like Michael Jordan and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar up the wall. It's not that they don't respect LeBron's game. They do. What they hate is the self-appointment. MJ and Kareem earned their crowns through blood, sweat, and rings. LeBron? He announced his before the story was even finished. Now, what was MJ's first reaction when LeBron boldly declared himself the greatest ever? Oh, you better brace yourself for this one. That smirk, that laughter, that slow shake of the head. MJ said more in silence than LeBron said in 20 interviews. It was pure gold. That reaction went viral instantly, becoming one of the most iconic memes in NBA culture. And then came the wave of responses. NBA insiders couldn't stay quiet. Vincent Goodwill broke down how players across the league felt blindsided. Danny Ainge, former Boston Celtics GM, even told a radio show exactly what he thought about LeBron's self-promotion. And let's just say, it wasn't pretty. Even Scottie Pippen, who's had his fair share of beef with Jordan, couldn't resist chiming in.
My problem is more so with LeBron is, if you are the greatest player, if people are saying you are the greatest player, or if people are saying Michael Jordan is the greatest player, why do you need to say it?
He pointed out exactly what rubbed him the wrong way about LeBron's statement. Then Scottie dropped a bombshell. He said something that not only revealed how he viewed LeBron, but also hinted at what kind of man MJ truly was behind that icy poker face.
Michael Jordan has never, ever said he's the greatest player to ever play the game. Why? He's respected all the other players before him. So for LeBron to say that, he's sort of pulling himself out of it.
And right after that, we heard it from the GOAT himself, 6-time NBA champion, 6-time Finals MVP, Michael Jordan. When a reporter asked MJ if he thought he was the greatest to ever play, his response, absolutely priceless. No bragging, no self-crown nonsense, just that cool, humble Jordan style that spoke louder than any speech ever could.
One, in a sense, because I think it disrespects Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, all the guys that prior to me, I never had a chance to play against. You know, what everybody's saying I am, I never had the chance to compete against other legends that was prior to me.
But then, enter Jalen Rose, former NBA player turned sharp-tongued analyst who sliced through all the noise with surgical precision. He broke down the GOAT debate like a surgeon with a mic. Rose explained the real differences, the eras, the pressure, the play styles, reminding everyone that comparing these two isn't just about rings or stats.
LeBron officially passed Larry Bird and got into the top 5 when he won his final championship, his only championship in Cleveland. In my mind, he still has a way to go clearly to pass Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, 11 championships, 13 years, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
the captain,
and my heart just won't let him pass Magic Johnson.
He made it clear why so many NBA legends took issue with LeBron's timing more than his talent. Because let's face it, when LeBron first called himself the GOAT, he had just 1 ring, 1. Meanwhile, Jordan had 6, Kobe had 5, Magic had 5, all with dynasties built from the ground up. So when LeBron looked into the camera and crowned himself king that early, it wasn't seen as confidence.
No, MJ, even if you don't know him personally, he's one of the most ruthless competitors there is. And till I'm done, and he doesn't have to look at me run up and down wearing the number 23, and every time my name is mentioned with his, he's like, I don't want to fucking talk to you.
It looked like disrespect. Disrespect to the ones who already proved their greatness the hard way. That's why the hate stuck for so long. It wasn't just about what he said, it was when he said it. Greatness isn't only measured by stats, it's also about timing, humility, and legacy. And here's the cherry on top, that nickname,
players of him in his position already on our team,
King James. He gave it to himself back in high school. Before even stepping foot in the NBA, most legends get their nicknames from fans or media after proving themselves. Michael didn't walk around calling himself Air Jordan. That came from Nike after he dominated the league. But LeBron, he crowned himself king before he'd even earned a single crown. That's the kind of boldness that makes people love him or loathe him.
The answer to the question everybody wants to know. LeBron, what's your decision?
In this fall, man, it's very tough. And this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
No in between. The GOAT debate might never end, but one thing's for sure. LeBron made sure his name will always stay in it. That's exactly why some people, especially the old school players, still roll their eyes every time they hear King James. Sure, LeBron did grow into one of the greatest to ever do it, but calling yourself king as a teenager, that's bold. And it's a big reason why that nickname still rubs people the wrong way even today. Now, if anyone ever doubted whether Michael Jordan had real issues with LeBron, LeBron himself shut that door during his appearance on the Pat McAfee show.
We also know you 3 kings came down here to win championships. Not 1, championships.
Not 2.
LeBron, tell us about that.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
While LeBron made sure to show love to MJ, calling him an inspiration and the ultimate standard for greatness, he also dropped some hints that told fans everything they needed to know. LeBron didn't outright say there's bad blood, but his tone said it all. Everyone could feel it. Jordan has zero interest in building any kind of friendship with him. And LeBron's own words made his obsession clear when he said, "My motivation is this ghost I'm chasing." The ghost played in Chicago. That single quote summed up his entire career mission, chasing the impossible, Michael Jordan's legacy. But here's the hard truth no one wants to admit. Matching Jordan's 6 rings? That's just half the battle. The real test is topping MJ's cultural dominance, and that's a mountain no one's climbed. Even if LeBron somehow gets 2 more championships before he retires, his legacy will never eclipse the global phenomenon that Jordan became. MJ didn't just win games, he defined an era. He became basketball's global face right when the NBA exploded worldwide in the 1990s. His timing was immaculate and his aura untouchable. LeBron came into fame during a very different time, one filled with social media hate, endless scrutiny, and critics waiting for him to slip. And man, those critics have been loud. To this day, LeBron is one of the most hated players in NBA history. His confidence, or what some call arrogance, has split the fan base for decades. Even back when his talent was obvious, many players couldn't stand how openly he crowned himself before he'd actually earned that seat at the table. Carlos Boozer once said it plain, LeBron's biggest problem is that he buys into his own myth too much. And nothing shows that better than his infamous Chosen One tattoo. If you don't know that story, here's the deal. Back in 2002, a 17-year-old LeBron graced the cover of Sports Illustrated with a headline that screamed, "The Chosen One." That cover alone was wild, but LeBron took it a step further. He went and tattooed Chosen One across his upper back. Forever! Fans went nuts! To them, it was the ultimate sign that he was fully drinking his own hype before even proving himself in the league. Instead of letting his game do the talking, it felt like LeBron was branding himself as basketball's messiah. And that didn't sit right with a lot of people, especially the ones who grew up on players like MJ, Kobe, and Bird, who let their grind speak louder than any slogan. Fast forward to 2021, and the numbers don't lie. LeBron officially ranked as the most hated NBA player in America. Twitter data showed the polarization had hit new highs. Then in 2022, a popular sports betting company ran an analysis on the most negative tweets aimed at NBA superstars, and the results were wild. LeBron didn't just top the list, he dominated it. Over 100,000 negative tweets in just 1 month. That's more than double what Kevin Durant got, who came in second with around 35,000. Behind them were James Harden and Kyrie Irving, both trailing way behind in the hate rankings. But here's what most people don't realize.
All the above. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they have given him everything he wanted. They have the highest payroll in NBA history. He wanted J.R. Smith last summer. They paid him. He wanted Shumpert last summer. They bought in Kyle Crawford. He's the best player in the world. Does he want all the good players? He don't want to compete?
LeBron's reputation as the league's most polarizing figure didn't start with social media. Oh no, it started way earlier. Even back in 2008, when he was only 23 and still ringless, other players were already taking shots. After beating LeBron's Cavs in a regular season matchup, Wizards guard Deshaun Stevenson flat out said, "He's overrated," and you can quote me on that. That one line said everything about how other players viewed him, as someone more hyped than earned. But the real breaking point came when LeBron made one move that sealed his controversial image forever, a decision that had fans burning jerseys and calling him disloyal overnight. The moment that redefined how the world saw him was still to come. 13 million people tuned in live. That 2010 ESPN special, The Decision, wasn't just a team change. It was the moment LeBron James lost a chunk of his legacy in real time. Picture this, a hometown hero from just outside Cleveland, the man everyone believed would bring a title home, sitting in front of cameras for a full hour-long special, only to end it with 7 words that shook basketball history. "I'm taking my talents to South Beach." Fans were furious. Cleveland felt betrayed on a level that hit deep. People torched his jerseys in the streets like it was a funeral for loyalty itself. Cavs owner Dan Gilbert dropped that now infamous open letter, blasting LeBron's move as a cowardly betrayal. Even casual fans who didn't root for Cleveland were stunned, not by the choice itself, but by the way he did it. A made-for-TV event that felt like LeBron was declaring himself bigger than the game, and he hadn't even won a ring yet. Right after the decision, Forbes put him on their list of the world's most disliked athletes. And just when the heat was starting to cool off, LeBron, D-Wade, and Chris Bosh decided to throw gasoline on it. That Miami Heat celebration party, a full-on spectacle. Bright lights, smoke, music blaring, LeBron hyping up the crowd, saying, "Not 1, not 2, not 3, bragging about all the titles they were going to win before even playing one game together. To many fans, that moment screamed arrogance.
LeBron's a great player and a great guy, but this notion that he's got to have all the best players on his team. He's got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. He want everybody. He don't want to compete. He want to be the favorite all the time. It just pisses me off that a guy that great don't want to compete.
It looked like a victory parade for championships that didn't even exist yet. And you know it's serious when Michael Jordan himself stepped in to comment. When asked if he'd ever call up rivals like Larry Bird or Magic Johnson to join forces, MJ's answer was blunt. There's no way. I would have never called up Larry Bird or Magic Johnson and said, hey, let's team up. To Jordan and a lot of players from his era, LeBron's super team move was the easy route. Not earned, but arranged. Now here's the twist. The Miami experiment actually worked. They won 2 championships and made 4 straight finals appearances. But even after all that, the decision left a scar on LeBron's image that never fully healed. He went from being the league's golden child to the player fans loved to hate. Even after redeeming himself with that epic 2016 championship in Cleveland and later winning with the Lakers, people still can't forget 2010. Because in sports, it's not just what you do, it's how you do it. And for many, that Live TV special will forever be the night LeBron James put himself above the game. But the story doesn't stop there. There's another reason LeBron became one of the NBA's most polarizing figures, one that haters never fail to bring up. You might have guessed it, the Jordan Crawford dunk incident of 2009. Here's what went down. LeBron was hosting his annual Skills Academy, a summer basketball camp packed with top college prospects and media. During one of those pickup games, a relatively unknown Xavier player named Jordan Crawford caught a body. He drove straight to the rim and threw down a vicious dunk right over LeBron. The gym exploded, but just minutes later, things took a strange turn. Reports claimed Nike, who was running the camp.
LeBron James coming up to me, unexpectedly I might add, to confront me about making sure that I mind what I say about his son.
Suddenly swooped in and confiscated all video footage of the dunk. Cameras were seized, tapes taken, and everyone left scratching their heads. The official story? Nike said filming after-hours pickup games wasn't allowed, but people weren't buying it. Freelance cameraman Ryan Miller told reporters he'd been recording all day with no problem, until after that dunk. He claimed LeBron pulled one of the Nike reps aside, said something quietly, and minutes later, a staff member rushed over demanding his tapes. The backlash was immediate. Critics accused LeBron of being soft, saying he couldn't handle a little embarrassment and that his team would do anything to protect his king image. Even though Nike eventually returned the footage, and it did leak online, the damage was already done. The internet exploded with jokes, memes, and debates about whether LeBron was trying too hard to control his image. If he had just laughed it off, praised Crawford, or even shrugged it away like MJ would have, it would have been nothing. But by allegedly trying to erase it, the story turned into something way bigger. Fans started saying it proved LeBron couldn't handle looking human, that his ego couldn't survive a single viral clip of him getting dunked on. And that's the thing. For all of LeBron's greatness, moments like that show why he's such a lightning rod in NBA culture. Every move he makes, every word he says, gets magnified. The decision made him the villain. The Crawford dunk made him look fragile. And together, they shaped one of the most complicated legacies the NBA has ever seen.
Can't repeat the words because they ain't suited for FCC airwaves. That's what he was doing.
Now, here's where things really heat up. One of LeBron's loudest critics, the always unfiltered Charles Barkley. Back in the summer of 2018, LeBron found himself at a major crossroads with Cleveland. Fresh off yet another brutal finals loss, he was publicly pressuring Cavs management to rebuild the roster, saying the team was too top-heavy and needed serious defensive help. That's when Charles Barkley, never one to bite his tongue, came out swinging with this fiery take. He don't want to compete! And Barkley didn't stop there. He doubled down, repeating it with even more heat. A guy that great don't want to compete! The jab was aimed straight at LeBron's heart, questioning his drive, his pride, and his willingness to grind the hard way. But LeBron wasn't having it. He clapped back hard, calling Barkley a hater and saying, "I'm not going to let him disrespect my legacy like that." Then came the haymaker. LeBron hit back by digging into Barkley's own past scandals. He said, "I'm not the one who threw somebody through a window. I never spit on a kid. I never had unpaid debt in Las Vegas. I never said I'm not a role model. I never showed up to All-Star Weekend on Sunday because I was in Vegas all weekend partying. LeBron ended his rant with a mic drop moment. All I've done my entire career is represent the NBA the right way.
His agent and friend, Rich Paul, has my number. Maverick Carter, who works under him, has my number. LeBron James knows how to get in contact with me if he wanted to. He never called, because had he called and wanted to talk to me, I would have accepted that call.
14 years, never got in trouble, respected the game, print that. That response turned into a viral moment, half the internet calling it a justified defense, the other half calling it petty revenge. But that's LeBron. He never leaves a shot unanswered. And speaking of rivalries, let's rewind to one that's been boiling for years. LeBron versus Paul Pierce. Their beef dates way back, reportedly starting when LeBron was accused of being disrespectful toward veteran players early in his career. Things exploded during a heated exhibition matchup between the Cavs and Pierce's squad, and that's when things got nasty. Reports claim that during one tense exchange, Pierce spat toward Cleveland's bench, allegedly in LeBron's direction. Kendrick Perkins, who was Pierce's teammate at the time, later revealed this wasn't just casual trash talk, it was personal. When Pierce was asked about it later, he didn't exactly deny it. Instead, he gave this wild explanation. You know, the crazy thing about it was a preseason game that didn't mean anything. Me and LeBron going back and forth, the bench is yelling at something, and I look over at the bench and I'm like, that's why y'all are on the bench, or something. And I spit at them. Then Pierce added the part that made jaws drop. I'm not sure I hit somebody or not, but I spit in that direction. And then tempers flared up.
Approached me during the game, and he said, stop effing with my son. That's my effing son. Stop effing with my son.
Next thing you know, we were in the hallway. It was about to go down. That's the raw energy of Pierce and LeBron's rivalry. No fake smiles, no polite quotes. Just pure tension that never really faded. But as wild as those feuds were, the latest controversy surrounding LeBron has taken things to a whole new level. This time, it's not about his game, his rings, or even his past. It's about his family, specifically his son. LeBron's now in a full-blown war with none other than ESPN's biggest voice, Stephen A. Smith. For years, everyone's known that LeBron and Stephen A. had a complicated relationship. It's always been icy, filled with subtle digs, strategic interviews, and backhanded compliments. But now, the gloves are off. What used to be quiet tension has exploded into public chaos. The feud hit maximum volume after the Knicks-Lakers game on March 6th, when a viral clip showed LeBron snapping at Stephen A. courtside. Fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. LeBron James, mid-game, visibly heated, pointing and shouting across the sideline while Stephen A. sat there stone-faced. The clip spread like wildfire within minutes. Every angle, every frame analyzed to death. You could feel the tension radiating off that video. So what exactly made LeBron lose his cool like that? What deep-seated beef finally spilled over for the whole world to see? Rumors say it all started with Stephen A. criticizing Bronny, LeBron's son, on national TV, questioning his readiness for the league and calling his hype media-made.
I am pleading with LeBron James as a father. Stop this. Stop this. We all know that Bronny James is in the NBA because of his dad.
That's when LeBron decided he'd had enough. Now the feud between the king and the voice of ESPN has turned into one of the most watched storylines in sports. Two of the biggest personalities in the game, one on the court, one behind the mic, now locked in a public showdown that's only getting wilder by the day. The internet was starving for answers. And then, boom, Stephen A. Smith finally broke his silence. On his show, he peeled back the curtain and gave fans a glimpse into what really went down during that courtside confrontation that had everyone talking. When Stephen A. was asked what LeBron actually said to him that night,
completely missed the whole point. The whole point. Never in my Never would I ever not allow people to talk about the sport, criticize players about what they do on the court. That is your job, to criticize.
Next, LeBron revealed why he had a sudden outburst.
But when you take it and you get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players.
You could tell he wanted to spill, but he hesitated. He was walking that tightrope between professionalism and drama, trying not to pour more gas on the fire. Still, for anyone who saw the clip, LeBron's message couldn't have been clearer. Keep my son out of this. You could read it all over his face. Smith looked genuinely shaken by the whole thing. He told his audience he was disappointed by how people online were twisting the situation, so he decided to set the record straight on his own platform. And that's when everything started making sense. See, the reason LeBron snapped was because Stephen A. had been taking shots at Bronny James, LeBron's eldest son, and the rookie trying to make a name for himself with the Lakers.
Issues with LeBron James. And I just want to say for the record, LeBron James is full of it. And in this particular instance, as it pertains to his son, he is a liar. And he went on national television today and he lied again.
For weeks, Stephen A. had been dissecting Bronny's performance on air, questioning his role and implying that maybe, just maybe, he didn't earn that roster spot, and LeBron wasn't having any of it. For context, here's what Stephen A. said that lit the fuse. On his show, he started off praising the story. Opening night, father and son, the Griffies in attendance, history made, beautiful moment. But then came the reality check. Smith followed it up with, "We love what we're seeing from him in the G League because that's where you belong."
Because he continues to lie to the world about what I said and who I was pointing the finger at. To regurgitate an obvious point, when I talked about Bronny James early in the season and I highlighted the fact that at that particular moment in time, he simply was not ready, I was calling out LeBron James.
Until you hone your skills, get better, and legitimately earn a spot in the Lakers rotation. Now that might sound like basic basketball talk, but for LeBron, it hit deep. Because behind the stats, Bronny's college numbers didn't exactly scream NBA ready. During his one season at USC, he averaged just 4.8 points and 2.8 rebounds across 25 games with only 6 starts. Most analysts saw that as average, but to Stephen A., it was proof that Bronny wasn't ready for the league. He even said Bronny's fame was outpacing his game.
Cameras were rolling, and had I done something, what do y'all want me to do? You want me to act, you want this to be a reincarnation of Chris Rock and Will Smith? And let me state for the record that while we bring up that, let me assure you it wouldn't have gone down like that. I would have gotten my ass kicked. Because had that man put his hands on me, I would have immediately.
That his last name, not his skill set, got him into the Lakers locker room. And that's when things got personal. To LeBron, this wasn't just a critique. It was a shot at his family's integrity. A protective father at heart, LeBron has always maintained that Bronny earned his shot through hard work, not connections. So when Stephen A. painted it like nepotism, LeBron saw red. Later on the Pat McAfee show, LeBron tried to explain his side. At first, he seemed calm, clarifying that he wasn't trying to beef with Stephen A. But then he couldn't resist throwing a little shade. He said, "Stephen A. gonna be happy as hell I'm talking about him. He's gonna be smiling ear to ear." And just like that, Stephen A. exploded. On his next broadcast, he went ballistic. He called LeBron a liar, claiming the king twisted his words just to stir attention. Smith said flat out, "LeBron James is full of it." He doubled down, insisting his criticism of Bronny was strictly professional and that LeBron was trying to make him look like the bad guy. Then Stephen A. took it even further, accusing LeBron of being hypersensitive and hinting that the superstar had a long history of controlling narratives. The exchange turned into one of the most talked about beefs of the year, with fans taking sides in what felt like a battle between basketball royalty and sports media royalty. And the moment that had everyone laughing came right after Stephen A.'s fiery rant. Trying to cool things off, he threw in a line that instantly became a meme. "I'm 57 years old, man. I'm not fighting LeBron James." The internet couldn't get enough of it. People flooded social media comparing their heights, with Smith at 1.85 meters and LeBron towering over him at 2.06. The whole thing turned from drama to comedy overnight, but beneath the jokes, this feud hit a nerve. It wasn't just about basketball or commentary, it was about respect, reputation, and how far someone can go when they talk about family. And now the question remains, will LeBron and Stephen A. ever squash it? Or is this just the start of a feud that'll keep fueling the sports world for months to come? Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more wild NBA stories, and I'll see you in the next one.